As you may know, streamer Chud the Builder has been locked up for close to a month for harming a black man, Joshua Fox, with a weapon after allegedly verbally provoking him to violence using his prototypical racist speech. But after 5 shots actually hit Joshua and 1 hit himself, Chud is now facing up to 60 years in prison. And his defense, before and after this incident, was predicated on free speech. But it doesn't seem to be holding up in court, as we'll see with the crazy stuff that happened in his bond hearing, including another racist speech streamer stepping up to the stand to help Chud with his $1 million bail, which also brought streamer JiDion into the mix. And JiDion came with his own backlash, which we'll get into. So hit the like, comment, share, and subscribe as we get into all the latest updates with the Chud the Builder case, the rise and fall of a kick streamer. Okay, so first off, let's talk about how Chud the Builder's own social media was used against him in his bond hearing. Okay, so in court, the District Attorney General, Robert Nash, completely rejected Chud's claim of self-defense. The DA stated exactly what I mentioned in my last video about this case regarding provocation, because the prosecutors argued that Chud, real name Dalton Levi Eatherly, went to the courthouse that day specifically to provoke a confrontation. Nash stated to the judge that Eatherly goes out to intentionally incite and provoke black people for a response. Plus, the DA also used Chud's own timeline against him because, like I mentioned, it shows a premeditated pattern. The DA actually pulled up Chud's own post on X, formerly Twitter. Now, this is where he has to actually read some of those vile and disturbing posts in court. And he starts by going back to May 4th, 11 days before the incident with Fox. Eatherly posted this.
He has posted things on X, made other videos on X on what his intent is. For instance, on May 4th of this year on X, he posted, "Keep encouraging your fellow blacks to assault me. When you see it with their on the timeline, just know y'all did this to your own people."
Then a few days later, on May 7th, which was 6 days before the assault against Fox, Eatherly warned he would defend his life with lethal force. And they also entered the series finale post from the last video.
Chud the Builder posts on X, "I will defend my life with lethal force. Do not approach me with intent to threaten bodily harm." And then he posts another response to himself. "Series finale on the pavement, and you riding when I walk free. Stay tuned." That's just a one that shows his motive and intent on what his business model is. Does it rise to provocation when he then takes to the street and interacts with black people to get a response? Could very easily be provocation, which negates any self-defense, or the proportionality of the force used by Mr. Eatherly to a punch in the face. He uses deadly force.
On Chud's legal team, his defense attorney, Jake Finley, took a completely different angle, leaning into, of course, the First Amendment.
Now, he's been streaming for about 6 months, Judge. Now, I understand he's a white man saying racially bad things that upset typical folks. I get that, but he still has his First Amendment. And regardless of whether it's offensive by the general population, he has to be allowed to speak when he wants to speak, unless it breaks a law. And it's not illegal yet to say those things.
He argued that Chud's posts on X were direct responses to online threats, but then he made a rather crazy comparison to Chud in court. He actually compared Chud to the ancient philosopher Socrates.
And I was just talking with my father earlier today about Socrates. When he began to criticize democracy in Athens, they decided to kill him. One of the greatest minds in history.
Arguing that just as Socrates was off for criticizing democracy, Chud is being persecuted simply for his offensive speech. But now let's get into the money and talk about which streamers stepped up to try and help Chud pay off this $1 million bond. His name is Alex Rosen, and he's also the founder of what some call this vigilante group called Predator Poachers.
We begin tonight with a KHU11 exclusive, a popular online group known for finding and confronting potential child predators across the country is based right here in Houston.
Their latest so-called sting was in LaPorte earlier this week, but police have concerns about their actions.
He started Predator Poachers when he was 19. He uses fake profiles and conducts amateur online sting operations to catch predators. He proudly described himself as very, very right-wing. And when he was even asked about his use of racial slurs during a 2023 interview, he bluntly told the interviewer, "I said it, but I'm not apologizing for it."
On the live stream, dude, they're gonna get offended and report us.
And this ties directly into the massive internet fallout surrounding Alex Rosen and fellow streamer JiDion. So JiDion is this massive black content creator who actually partnered with Alex after doing a lot of prank content to catch predators. And in those videos, Alex was still himself. He still said the N-word in front of JiDion, as you can see here.
Oh shit.
And he hasn't been replying to our decoy either.
Yeah, let me see.
I'm checking to see if he...
No way.
What happened?
My is in jail. My is in jail. Dude, it's like yin and yang. One racist guy, one non-racist guy. We're coming together and ending racism, bro.
But JiDion said he continued to work with him to catch predators because he thought he could change his mind about racism.
After hanging out with him, I came to the belief of, hey man, maybe he's really not a racist person, and maybe him hanging around me could change him.
But recently, JiDion decided to completely sever all ties with Alex.
I will not be working with Alex Rosen henceforth. I will not be collaborating with him on any preg catches. You guys will not see him on this channel anymore. A couple weeks ago, there was a streamer named chudbuilder. His whole platform was going around, going up to black people and antagonizing them, calling them the hard R, to quote, get them to out and give a physical reaction to him so that way he could have a legal reason to. What does this have to do with Alex? What does this have to do with you not working with him anymore? Alex has made his decision. Alex was on Twitter talking about how he supports Chud the Builder, things of that nature. But then he did something even a step beyond. He went and donated $10,000 to Chud the Builder's bond so that he can be back free on the street. And I just cannot tolerate that, and I do not respect that, and I have to make a stand. I will not be taking down any videos that I've done with him in the past, because all the videos I've done with him have been catching predators, and I am not going to just be deleting these predators off the existence. People still need to see their faces and hear the horrible things that they have done. But from now on, we will not be working together anymore.
On the stand, Alex Rosen talked deeply about his own content business model and his views on free speech. His group has about 490,000 followers on X, but they actively push fans to alternative subscription-based sites like locals.com.
Obviously what you post online will get pretty censored a lot of the time. So we have a website called locals.com where you can post basically the uncensored interactions where you don't have to bleep out choice words or graphic things that the predators might have said to the assumed child. So on Locals, people sign up, they pay a small subscription fee every month, and we have about 17,000 give or take paying members on there right now, paying anywhere from $5 to $10 a month. So obviously over the years that's accumulated, and we've certainly been blessed with the work we've put in.
And when the judge asked why he would risk his own money to get Chud out of jail, Rosen said,
"So I'm hoping to bond him out. You know, I myself am a free speech absolutist, and yeah, I just don't think he should be in jail right now."
But in contrast, Joshua Fox's mother recently stated, and this wasn't about protecting freedom of speech. This is about letting you know that you don't have the freedom to be violent. But the judge wasn't so convinced that Rosen could actually help pay off Chud's full $1 million bail. The judge stated that Eatherly would need to use 10 different bonding companies, one for every $100,000. Just to post the full $1 million bond. But Eatherly's defense team said there's only about 1 or 2 companies in the entire country that would even be willing to do business with him. This case isn't about the limits of free speech. It's about an online economy that profits off an anti-black provocation, relies on historical dehumanization, and uses systemic privilege to ensure perpetrators walk free, to the point that even they believe so. But how much anti-black violence are platforms, creators, and audiences willing to tolerate as long as it generates attention and performs well? The outrage economy, race baiting, rage baiting depends on this dynamic because it requires a target. someone to humiliate, provoke, or cast as the villain so audiences can feel entertained, justified, or superior. In this case, Black people were the target and anti-Black racism was the mechanism used to attract attention and keep viewers engaged. But the internet didn't create this. America has long maintained a market for Black humiliation and Black suffering. Digital platforms simply made that market faster, easier to monetize, and easier for spectators to convince themselves they're only watching, donating, or supporting. Racist speech shouldn't always be treated as a harmless expression simply because it falls under the category of speech. Language doesn't operate in a social vacuum. Words carry histories, power relationships, and as we've seen, real-world consequences. Because racist speech isn't just free speech and the communication of an opinion. It's actually a practice that can reinforce inequality and shape how people are treated in everyday life. When racist speech repeatedly portrays a group as dangerous, inferior, or undeserving of respect, it can intimidate those being targeted, normalize their mistreatment, and create environments where hostility feels acceptable. And these sustained patterns of racist expression only help create the conditions in which discrimination, exclusion, and even physical harm become easier to justify or even ignore. So where does this leave us? Now the case heads to the grand jury. It's going to be a major test of whether the justice system draws the line between protected speech and criminal provocation. I'll be sure to let you know of any updates as this case progresses. And let me know what you think in the comments about the difference between free speech and criminal provocation. And do you think JiDion took too long to cut ties with Alex Rosen? Did they really cut ties? But please like, comment, share, and subscribe as I grow my channel so you don't miss the gems I drop in the next video. I'm Dr. Q, and this has been RealQuickMedia. Thanks for watching.